What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed above or directly at WiseTake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out. Day Pass is available if you want to try us out. That being said, if you're new to this channel, welcome. You've come to the right place with some free fire DFS content. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell. Don't miss out on any of the free content we put out. Currently covering MLB slates on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. I think Thursday's the only day during the week we don't cover right now because we do the NFL show Wednesday night. I got to figure out a better way to deliver that. But anyway, Thursday Night Football is an interesting game. Shout out to me. Did call the, Paulie put me on a spot. He tried to ask me what I would bet in the Thursday Night Football game, and I simply said the Giants because of the points. Right? With no Fitzpatrick, it was a little too close. So shout out to me. Just kidding. Anyway, Thursday slate was wild. Did not do well on early slate. Did pretty well on the main. Well enough anyway. Now we've got this massive 15-game slate for Friday. Last show of the week. It was a great game, Pat. Shout out to Pat. Shout out to Nathan Wagner, the Prince. See you guys in the chat. Yeah, it was a really good game. But anyway, Friday we got a massive 15-game slate. Last show of the week for MLB, and then it's all focusing on football. We still cover MLB on Saturdays at WiseTake.com. But then Sunday's all about football, right? So this is a big one. Contest's gonna be a little bit bigger here than we'll probably see on Saturday. It'll probably be like two slates on Saturday. It'll be split up in smaller tournament pools, I would assume. Anyway, we got a lot to get into. It's a massive slate, so we'll go ahead and get started with top pitchers as we always do. This list is long. Okay, it's a 15-game slate. We're just going to address some of these guys. This is last year. This is this year. Wheeler. Phenomenal numbers. Cy Young candidate. 28.9% K rate against the Mets. He loves to stick it to the Mets because they didn't think he was worth it. It was Brody Van Wagenen who said that, and he's no longer with the team. Just putting that out there, Wheeler. But anyway, Phillies also need to keep winning. They have to win. So Wheeler should be pretty popular. I would assume he's the cash game SP1 for most people. Well, I guess Chris Sale's on the slate. So maybe Chris Sale maybe gets more attention than him. Chris Sale coming back from the COVID list. We'll skip to him. He is at home against Baltimore. We know Baltimore's better against lefties, but this is Chris Sale, right? The question is, how's everything with the COVID, with the Rona? But I would assume he's fine. Activating him from the COVID list and he's starting right away, so seems like he's fine for the moment. Walker Buehler is kind of interesting. He could slide under the radar in terms of ownership. Cincinnati, not a great park. That could scare people away. Cincinnati is a decent offense, right? Against righties, 107 WRC plus, 189 ISO, 23.2% K rate. It looks pretty good. 333 WAR, but they're tough. But Buehler's got some pretty solid numbers. The BABIP is really low. It's kind of interesting. That's the small park. Logan Webb could be really sneaky. 61% ground ball rate. That stands out. Slightly higher strikeout rate than Walker Buehler. Lower Sierra, lower XFIP. Overall, his numbers are among the best on the slate, everything considering, even a 28% hard contact rate. He'll play Atlanta. A tough offense, obviously. But they do have a 24.2% K rate. And this is a very large park on San Francisco. I think he's kind of interesting for tournaments. Dylan Cease, whatever, 31% K rate. He's having a career year. This game's in Texas, which is actually a park boost. Remember that the new stadium has been very, very pitcher friendly when the roof is closed. Another interesting tournament option. I think that he could end up being somewhat low on it. Unless people just try to double spend it. But I can see people thinking that they're covered with Chris Sale because Chris Sale's on the 9.5 on DraftKings. But on FanDuel, it'll be low. Mr. Dillon over here. Corey Kluber against his old team, against Cleveland. I did play for the Rangers in between there, but his whole team is Cleveland. That's where everybody knows him from. It's just why? Why him over all these other options, right? We'll skip over Luis Castillo for now. He's got a tough matchup. German Marquez got postponed. This time he's playing the Washington Nationals, who is they're a worse offense overall, but they strike out less, 21.7% than the Braves, who he would have seen. He's fine for tournaments. I know Pat Bush, that's your boy. I do think he'll be low owned. Hyunjin Ryu has had some decent games. Strikeout rate's not as high as we'd like to see. Minnesota kind of wild, man. You don't know what you're going to get from Minnesota. You really don't. On the season, they have not done well against lefties, but they got some lefty mashers, if you will, on the squad. But either way, Ryu's been fairly consistent recently and pitching well to contact. I don't think he makes my teams, but 8-6, I think he'll end up on some people's teams. Ian Anderson was probably going to be popular if there wasn't any bad weather. On the early slate, he was like 6-something. DraftKings corrected that real quick, made him 8-5. Park boost. Giants are a good offense, very good offense. Third in WRC plus against righties. A 203 ISO, but they do have a 24.7% K rate. Their numbers are very similar to the Rays. Something to keep in mind. But a decent SP2 option nonetheless. Problem is, Ian Anderson, his numbers have kind of, headed off to a trajectory that we're not crazy about. Sierra's up over 4. You know what I mean? A little concerning. Luis Patino is going to pitch against Detroit. I got high hopes for Patino. I don't think that he's got it at the moment, but I think he's got some interesting strikeout stuff. He had a pretty good game for me earlier this season against a tough opponent, I think. Well, against the Yankees, that's what it was. He's at home. He has pitched better at home, right? He just saw Detroit in Detroit, only put up a 7.6. Only threw 76 pitches, that's a little bit of a concern. But they gave up 2 earned runs, 1 home run, only 3 Ks. So the strikeouts have dropped, but 5 strikeouts, 5.2 innings, put up a 21 against Boston, put up a 19 against the White Sox. Better offenses. And we often don't see we don't often see the same results twice. Right? So I do like Patino. But the chalk, SP2, it's got to be Eliezer Hernandez, who is 6'8". 6'8" on DraftKings against the Pirates. Now, the Pirates can be stingy with strikeouts, only 22.2% against righties, but this team has a 129 ISO, a 294 WOBA, and an 83 WRC plus against righties on the season. Eliezer is one of Miami's better pitchers. I think that the numbers will adjust. I think he's obviously don't have a ton left, but he is a good pitcher, and he's clearly underpriced, especially for the matchup relative to this slate. So expect him to be popular. I think we'll see a lot of like Sale, Eliezer, Wheeler. Eliezer, like people pinwheeling with him. But yeah, Chalk City all day, and for good reason. Offenses. I think the Astros against Matt Bum were kind of interesting. We know the Astros are a very good offense. Madison Bumgarner's numbers have been like this all season. 45% fly ball rate, 38.5% hard contact rate. Astros first in WRC plus against lefties. What am I missing? Right? They should be pretty popular. The White Sox. We know the White Sox are good against lefties, at least in terms of WRC plus, and they're healthy now. They'll go against Taylor Hearn, who is a lefty. Numbers aren't like horrific, but White Sox have been playing pretty well in general. The Red Sox are at home against Keegan Aiken. Expect the Red Sox to be popular, and for good reason. Now, when I say popular, keep in mind it's a 15-game slate, so nobody's going to be as popular as maybe should be. Outside of maybe Eliezer Hernandez, nobody, I don't think is going to be like too crazy popular because it's just so many options, right? But very good matchup for Boston, good park. Baltimore is just the gift that keeps on giving in DFS. And then the Yankees are at home against Zach Plesac. Plesac has not had a good year this year. Find him. You can see a 16.8% K rate. Going to be a lot of balls put into play. Good park for the Yankees. They typically play well at home. Offense has not been as strong as you'd like to see it, but they still got the players. Kind of weird. I think Rizzo's in a really good spot. Gallo's in a really good spot. Judge, right? So they stood out. Things to watch. The Brewers have been kind of hot or cold, but more on the cold side lately. They'll go against Zach Davies, who's been terrible. He's got some of the worst numbers on the slate. He really does, and it's kind of something to keep an eye on. The Dodgers against Luis Castillo. So Luis Castillo is a good pitcher. Maybe this year hasn't had as good of a season as he's had in years past, but still solid. 55% ground ball rate. The Dodgers, really good offense, and this is a massive park boost for them. A massive upside. So if they could get to Luis Castillo, then they get the Cincinnati bullpen in this park, regardless. High upside offense, low ownership. High upside pitcher, low ownership. And then the Rays, man, kind of my team this year. You know that. Play him a lot. Casey Mize has not been terrible, but Casey Mize does appear to have been a little lucky. Tampa Bay, really good offense. Got guys like Brandon Lau, Austin Meadows, and whatnot. I think that's something to keep an eye on too. I think don't be surprised if you see me in my article for those who subscribe to the site. We'll put it that way. Dong Watch, and we're out of here. I'm going JD Martinez, number 1 from Boston. Jose Altuve, number 2 from Houston. Austin Meadows, number 3 from the Rays. That is the Dong Watch for today. That's going to do it for this edition of the MLB Wise Stream. Appreciate those of you hanging out with me live. Appreciate those of you who took the time to watch after the fact. Leave some comments. Hit the like button on your way out. Make sure you subscribe. Share the show as much as you can. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, you guys have a great weekend. Don't forget to check out our NFL show me and Paulie did. I like the format. Trying to get some feedback on that format too. We kind of built teams on FanDuel and DraftKings, specifically, site specific and whatnot. Let me know what you think of the format. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.
Yeah.